why must viewers listening to the Zip Code Plays, why they must listen, is because this is a unique pairing of this particular company's great actors and sound engineer, Foley artist, sound design. It's a unique kind of blend of fictional storytelling paired with playwriting, and I think it's unique in that way. I don't feel fictional podcasting going as far right now as non-fictional podcasting, and this lays a claim to being a very unique, winnable, and very wonderful way to sort of stay on the fictional side of things and give people an experience that they'll want more of. So the zip code plays idea was an idea that was sort of born before to when the Playwright Lab was just when they were in another space in North Hollywood to bring together the Playwrights Lab and the actors in mass. So it's something we've done before in a much more casual one night environment, invitation only environment. And it was something that worked out really well. It was really kind of rambunctious how many people were involved in it the first time. And so I wasn't surprised when they brought it back. Of course, they brought it back because the pandemic prevents us from producing plays in person right now. How can we still stay strong and tell stories together while we're apart? And so they reintroduced the zip code play idea with a call for entries, meaning any person in the lab, the Playwrights Lab, could submit an idea by deadline this past summer to participate. I'm like, well, let me pick something else, you know. And I think when you think of a zip code in LA, there's many that seem like the obvious choice, maybe Hollywood or downtown or Santa Monica or the beach or wherever you want to pick. And so I always triangulate off of the least obvious choice, like what wouldn't people pick? And what do I find out about that? And, you know, I threw a couple of ideas at them. You know, I almost wrote about Descanso Gardens and La Cañada, you know, and there's so many things I think you could throw into the Descanso Gardens up there. But we decided with Sun Valley because I had just been to the auto junkyard up there to find parts for a car I've been putting together over the summer. It's been a hobby of putting this car together. I bought for a few grand and I've just been putting money into it all summer. It works. It's great. We're taking on vacation this week. And like anything, sometimes of the moment, you put together things from ideas in your current life. And then the play, as you may have read the log line of it, is about two people who have low vision, who could barely see, who end up going to find a part for a car that they want to drive in this auto lot. And I wanted to present the idea of working with people with who had a visual impairment because I work for the Braille Institute during the day. And, you know, there's not enough awareness of what we can do in our lives to eliminate barriers for people who have low to no vision. You know, it's people, you know, and it also hits people when they lose their vision later in life. There's all kinds of things that people go through that are emotional, and you want to hang on to the things you were doing. And so I took some of those ideas and I said, you know what, there are still some people who lose their vision who still have a car license, who still probably want to drive those few last times that they have a car license. And like, wouldn't this be funny and odd to do this meet cute of people who used to know each other through the center? I didn't want to use Braille I wanted to be like the blind center where one taught the other, and one was blind back then and now the other's blind, and then they go in together and use their skills in this unique friendship to find a car part. So that's kind of how that came together. It's just kind of some quick alchemy of things that were in my life, or as Viola Spolin and others might say, objects in the immediate environment. So, and it goes deeper. It's a friendship. It's a teacher and student relationship that gets flipped. And you don't know it also as they talk, because it's really Martha's story. It's two people in their early 50s who's newly going blind, comes back to meeting Billy, who she taught years ago when he was first going blind in his early 20s, and she was a little older than he was. And his life has just gotten better, and hers has gotten worse in certain ways. And it's just kind of what's shared and what's known in the disability world is access intimacy of somebody who could be almost a complete stranger who only knew you once, who gets your vibe, the way you need to stand, what you need to be productive, how, what you need to walk with a cane through a junkyard. And they may only be in our life for a short period of time, but that's kind of what we're investigating in the piece. Our play opens and Martha, who has been waiting patiently in front of the junkyard in Sun Valley, is waiting for her volunteer. And when she meets Billy, she doesn't quite remember that she's known him before, but you can tell she's maybe a bit of a cynic or a grump, I guess is the word. Just wants someone to come in and fill this purpose, or she's driven to go find this knock sensor for a 1998 Subaru Impreza she has. And she used to come to the junkyard herself, and then just going blind, it's hard to see. So it's even more taken aback when the volunteer arrives in the form of Billy, one that she knew before, but he also has only partial sight. And his orientation and mobility, as it's called, is a lot better than hers. And his daily living skills have been sharpened over time. And he's a musician. And he's a musician because she taught him. And so that's kind of woven in through as they walk through the junkyard to find this part, so it's a lot of catching up, but it really is about, can they get this part or not? Can she get back and start the car before her license expires? There's a little bit of a time cap. And then what happens when they find the car finally, I met them over Zoom. Gigi Birmingham, I have seen act. She's a wonderful company actor and is a teacher, and just known just in theater circles of how great she is. And she plays Martha. And then John Chafin, who I had not seen before, who's also incredible. And he's done TV episodics and a lot of stage work. Just has so much finesse and so much heart in what he does. Both of them, this is the first reading, and I was only in on a couple of rehearsals because it soaks up time to have so many rehearsals on Zoom, and they were on a union schedule. They just had it down. They had such electricity. They seem to really like these characters. And I hope you guys do too. I think they sort of present them in a great way. So, what do I want the audience to get out of this play? I think what I get out of it, what I want the audience to get out of it, is that no matter what the obstacles you have in life are, to stay open to things changing, to stay open to being surprised, because life does and things do. And I think that's kind of the thing to remember. And we see it in the play with people who are losing their vision, which is some of our greatest fears. And you can have your greatest fears realized and still come out the other side. You can still live your life. I'm excited about all of the zip code plays. I want to hear just tapestry is probably too cliche a word, but I want to hear all of the different sounds and rhythms that the whole bunch of us have come up with, because I know it's going to be different. I mean, mine has like a sort of a musical naturalism to it, and I know a few of them are surreal, a few of them are kind of bizarre histories and earnest histories. And just as I sometimes just enjoy a great podcast this summer, I want to listen to them all, and I want more. Um, I want everyone who comes to this to just want to hear more zip codes. This is Antaeus Theater Company's fall production, and they've made good on it with some amazing people working on it, and I think we're all going to be amazed. I mean, they're going to be between 20 and 30 minutes, so like podcastable lengths. They're not like these long things. They're stories about our city, and just want people to sort of look at to see how Antaeus is just trying to stay in touch with its audience through pandemic. And my play, I hope you guys, I don't know what order they're going to present them in. And I think they're just going to be a surprise. And so it's all going to sound so great, such like a perfect package. I mean, I hope that this is like season one of the zip code plays, and you're coming back here next year to interview the writers who are season two, because it's such a joyous idea that, I hope, people have listening parties, people tell people about, it's shareable, and it's also a nice solo experience. So that's what I think is going to happen.